y'all, welcome to Planet Jayy. My name is Jay, and if you chose pile number 1 with the cherries embroidery, then this is your group. This reading is a part of my Lilith 8th House series where I create my own unique individual topics that relate to what I'm experiencing, stepping into my more authentic truth, being blunt and honest. You guys obviously heard that in the intro, so just know I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing, but in this type of reading, it's a good thing because we're looking at what makes you a force to be reckoned with. So let's get into it. Card number 1. What makes card number 1 a force to be reckoned with? We have the key with the number 33 on it, which is the 8 of Pentacles in this deck, and it talks about unlocking the answer, destiny, openness, solution, and fulfillment. What makes you a force to be reckoned with? We have the Hierophant in reverse, period. We have Origin, okay. 9 of Cups, period. Okay, and the Libra card. Oh, I love y'all. I love y'all so much because one thing about y'all is that you have something in you that allows you to admire people, that allows you to admire cultures, traditions, all of that. You're a respectful person. Yes. You appreciate the lessons that you were taught as a child, all of that. But at the same time, it's like you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. And something that makes you a force to be reckoned with is the fact that you don't think about or look at where you used to be, where you grew up, and think that's where it ends. You are the type of person to know exactly who you are, how things initiated, but you also can tap into your own creativity and your own vitality. You could have a strong sun placement. Your sun could be in harmonious aspect with other planets in your chart, especially Jupiter. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that your personality is authentic, but on top of that, it's like you can still be very considerate, you can still be very fair, and you know how to get along with other people. So what that means is you don't have to be the meanest person in the room to be confident. You don't have to be the rudest person in the room, the most ignorant person in the room to be at bliss. I feel like what makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you can't be kept down for too long because there's something about you where you always find a way. You always find the answer. And that's just a part of your destiny. That's who you're meant to be. So everybody that's trying to top you, everybody that's trying to imitate or follow you even, like they can, but only so far. Like they can't follow you all the way up to the top. They can't follow you to wealth. They can't follow you to have the same amount of pride that you have in yourself, the same amount of accomplishments that you have in the same way that they would try to do themselves. So there's really no way for people to imitate you past a certain point because you're the one that's going to have the things to show for it. And I heard you're also going to have the people to show for it that stand behind you and rally behind you as well. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you don't have to be the most closed off, judgmental person to have a good life, to have people love you, to have people want to help you. You get to be yourself. You get to be authentic. You get to take pride in the choices that you make. Because at the end of the day, you know that you are a good person. You know that you always try to do things fairly before you do anything. I feel like what makes you a force to be reckoned with as well is that you don't give up and you don't let life keep you down. None of these cards show me anybody who has gone through tough experiences and decided that it was just going to turn them rotten. No, I'm seeing somebody here who, like I said, knows where they've been and therefore is constantly leveling up, constantly trying to do better than they did in the past, but also you don't let the things that you've been through convince you that you don't deserve the wealth, you don't deserve the luck and the pride and all of that. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you can have all this confidence, you can have all these people like you, find you charming, want to talk to you, want to be your friend, and it doesn't stem from negative qualities. Like, you're not a failure, you're not arrogant, and I just feel like in this life, you're not meant to experience loss after loss after loss after failure. No. Everything that you've experienced in this life, you acknowledge it as a part of your character growth. And you take that and you use it to become stronger and better and swing back harder than the last time. And then before you even know it, all the doors are opening up for you. It's like I'm seeing some people trying to copy what you do, right? And they're like, oh, I got the copy of the key that card number 1 has. But little do they know, card number 1 has to scan their eye to get in. Like you trying to get in the building with the card that they had when they were entry level. Card number one now, they're scanning their eye to get in. They put in their fingerprint to get in. Like everything is uniquely accustomed and set out for them. You can only, try to do what they're doing up to a certain extent, up to a certain point. And then you start looking like a failure. And then you start looking arrogant because you think that you get everything that they get, even though you haven't done half of the work. So what makes you a force to be reckoned with as well is that the people that are trying to imitate you, and I'm seriously getting some sort of imitation here, not just like tapping into your power, but it's like because you have such a nice energy to you that can't be replicated, of course everybody's gonna try to do it. Like, you know, and the reason why they can't, honestly, and I'm not saying this is because you're a bad person, but it's because these people are fake. They fake believe in certain things. They fake have a moral code. And when it's time for them to live up to that code, or, even just take pride in the actions that they've taken or whatever, own up to their mistakes as well as their successes, they can't really do that. And then they get mad at you because your principles are not based on trends. You are exactly who you say you are 100% of the time. So people know what to get with you. They know what they're going to get with you. And therefore, that makes people want to work with you. That makes people want to be around you. With these people, they're so shisty and shifty that, like, it makes them come off like they have no power whatsoever. So, card number one is, or pile number one, is content on their own. And they hate that you don't need them or anyone else to feel whole like they do. So if that resonated, definitely let me know. Come back for another one here on my channel. I would love to have you, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Pal 2. Welcome to your reading. My name is Jay, and today we're going to be looking at what makes you a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so the cards you got. We have Bouquet with the number 9 on it, but this is actually the Queen of Swords in this deck, and it talks about pleasantness, gift, being charming, having joy and happiness and flattery in your life. Then you got the Two of Cups, friendliness, vow, wish, hope, and worship. Oh, wow. King of Pentacles, yeah. And Cancer. Oh, God. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is like you're the energy on this earth that we need. And like we need this. Everybody on this earth has gone through a moment where they just may have needed someone to vent to, or someone to talk to, or someone that would try and help them, even if they weren't obligated to. And I feel like that's you. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your best friend, your mother, or a stranger on the street. Like, I feel like in this group, you're just so pleasant to everybody. You're so nice to everyone. You try to carry happiness and joy where you go because you know that life is hard and you never know what another person is going through behind closed doors. There's something about you that is so friendly and nurturing, and it's like you don't have to do anything for people to feel comfortable around you, for people to smile around you. And I'm saying, like, even if they're going through a very difficult time, they can do these things around you. And it's kind of like crazy to them because they're like, 2 seconds before pile number 2 came here, I wasn't feeling myself. I wasn't feeling the best. And then boom, here you come. How does that make you powerful? How does that make you a force to be reckoned with? Because you're the person that people are going to want to call. You're the person that people are going to want to bring around when they want to have a good time or when they need someone to help facilitate a good time, right? So depending on what you do for work, that could be excellent, right? But it doesn't even have to just be in work. I'm hearing like you're not going to be the one that's not invited to the family outing. You're not going to be the one that's not invited to the wedding or, the birthday party or whatever. You know why? Because you bring on the vibes. And then on top of that, like, you're not needy financially. Some of you guys are a businessman, businesswoman, whatever. Or you're on a path to wealth, or you just carry yourself that way. Like, you actually are very ambitious and you don't mind providing, you don't mind helping, you don't mind bringing, a bottle of wine to the function, or you don't mind, stopping and getting a gift before you go to the invited place because that's just your energy and your vibe. And I feel like that's really what makes you a force to be reckoned with because it really, really, really impacts the way that people think about you, the way they view you. They view you to be someone who has wealth that you don't flaunt. So let's say you could be listening to this right now and be like, yo, I'm struggling. I'm broke right now, Jay. It don't matter, babe. We're talking about what makes you a force to be reckoned with. And the fact is sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Listen to anybody on YouTube, listen to any artist talk about how they got where they were. And I don't even just mean music artists. I mean even like painting with different mediums, like an actual artist. It doesn't have to be painting, it could be digital, it could be anything, right? Listen to anybody that talks about like where they were compared to where they are now, and they've actually made quite a life for themselves, quite a name for themselves, and all the while they still have love around them and people that cherish them. What those people did was they weren't afraid to try it. They weren't afraid to take the risk. And for some of you guys, it's like financial risks that you've taken that have paid off for you. And that's what brings you happiness and joy. Or in taking those risks, you're able to now have more happiness and joy in your life. And you're also somebody who is very protective of yourself and others. And that's what makes you a force to be reckoned with as well. Because while you are friendly, while you do try to, help other people make their wishes and their dreams come true, while you do believe in a higher power and you're hopeful in all of these things, you do understand that the world is a dangerous place and that there are dangerous people in the world. So what makes you a force to be reckoned with is that while you can be charming and you can flatter people and all these things, at the end of the day, you're not gullible. And on top of that, people feel deeply connected to you. So, sometimes you go to a job interview and both people are qualified. So you have to decide which candidate you're going to take in a different way. And I feel like for you, if you were ever in a position like that, the reason why you were chosen, even if you were in a position where someone that had more money, more fame, more this, more that, whatever, was a candidate, and so were you. The reason why you were chosen is because they felt a connection to you. And it was easy for them to trust you and easy for them to build a bond with you. They didn't have to think about, oh, is this person going to end up being like this? No, they don't have to do that with you. And it doesn't have to just be in work. It doesn't have to just be in this. I just mean in general. Like when people choose you as a partner, when people choose you as a lover, when people welcome you into their home, even when you go into a place of business and you get better treatment than other people, that's why. It's because they feel the connection and they feel that energy flowing off of you. And I heard, yes, flowing off of you, babe. So if that resonated, definitely let me know. Come back for another one here on my channel, as I would love to have you. And I'll see you in the next one. What makes you a force to be reckoned with? Welcome to your reading pile number 3. My name is Jay, and as you know, that's what we're looking at today. We're going to be looking at what makes you powerful, what makes you different, what sets you apart, but also what keeps you from being stagnant. So let's look at what card you got. We have the Fish card, number 34 on it, which is the King of Pentacles in this deck. We have the Lovers card, Loss, oh. Three of Wands, period. Okay, Three of Wands, and Uranus, yes. Okay. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that, babe, something about you in this lifetime is Uranus is always at work in your life. If you resonate with being the type of person who has constantly had sudden upheavals, and those upheavals could be with your money, it could be with your business, it could be with your lovers, it could be actually losing people to, them passing. It could even be you're traveling and then boom, these things happen. That's your life. Your life is always going to be like that. But I feel like that's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing the vision of somebody riding the wave, but looking elegant, moving smoothly. I saw this video the other day of like an extreme swimmer in like an Asian country. I don't want to assume the country because it didn't state it. But they're in this indoor pool, and it's not like a regular indoor pool. It's not even like a wave pool. When I tell you guys, that water looked like it was at least 40 feet, at least 40 feet. And they have these like automatic waves going, and they were super big. Like, and I'm watching the video, I'm like, is he training to be like a rescue person or whatever? No, he's just training because he loves to swim, and that's who he is, and it's his passion, and that's why he's so fucking good at it, because he gets up every day and he goes. And I feel like with you, I'm seeing that metaphor in that video where it's like, I'm literally watching this man and I'm worried. Like, I'm worried while he's in the pool. Like, oh my God, that's a big ass wave. Is he going to be good? Does he know what he's doing? Yes, he does. He's smiling while he's doing it. He, doing different strokes and shit in the water and all that. Like, oh my God, killing it. Killing it. And then at the very end, while you go through that 40 feet fucking pool and you get all the way to the end and you go through all those terrible waves that look like waves that you would only see in the most terrible fucking storm while you're on a boat, he has to climb up a ladder to get out of that bitch. So it's just like I heard it never ends with you. It's always something with you. It's always something with you. And I don't mean like you're creating these issues. I just mean there is always something that you're dealing with. There's always a fire you're having to put out. And what makes you a force to be reckoned with is the fact that you're up for the adventure. Sometimes you can even have the foresight to see that that shit is coming. But you know that there's always an opportunity after that. You know, it doesn't just end there. You're the type of person, who's constantly thinking, if it's a drought, it's going to rain again. If it's nighttime, the sun's going to come back up. Shit like that. I feel like what makes you a force to be reckoned with is the fact that you know what sorrow looks like. You know what damage looks like. You know what it looks like when you're so fucking stressed that you have to excuse yourself and go heal. Like, that's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. Because I feel like a lot of the time people go into things in life and they assume that it's always going to be spectacular, it's always going to be perfect. And I feel like a lot of that comes from social media. A lot of that comes from, even if you're not looking at social media, looking at the people next to you, seeing what they have and assuming that everything is perfect with them. And you will never know, again, like I said in another pile, what's going on behind closed doors with somebody else. That being said, what makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you have the mind for business, you have the mind for money, and you have the mind for abundance. What that means is that you haven't gone through loss and struggles in your life that have made you think, maybe I am on the wrong path. Maybe I don't deserve this. No, instead, it feels like you're the type of person, those things just make you have more love for the game, more love for yourself. Um, and they make you tap in deeper to the lessons that you were taught and the lessons that you were learning while you go through all of this. In this group, you're forced to be reckoned with the Lover's card because you're deeply loved by people that you want to love you. Let me repeat that. You are deeply loved by the people that you want to love you. So even if you have a bad day and you're thinking you made a mistake so bad that like they couldn't even look at you the same. Even if you're invited to something super big, like a gala or a function or a blah blah blah, and you trip or you forget to bring the most important thing. They're still gonna love you anyway, bro. They're still gonna love you. And you know why? Because you're the type of person who always is thinking ahead. You're the type of person who's gone through so much loss in your life that it has made you love even harder. So that makes you a force to be reckoned with. You're not the type of person who's just gonna walk in and treat this situation, this day, this event, this whatever, like any other day. You really have this ability to take a step back, gain perspective, look at the people around you and blend and move and flow. That's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. You know how many people go into situations feeling so entitled? You know how many people go into situations already, you know, having all the conversations made up in their head and having the responses to if they don't get the response that they want made up in their head. Like, you're not like that. I genuinely feel like I just keep hearing go with the flow. Some of you guys could have Pisces in your chart or 12th house placements. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you're not afraid to change either. You're not afraid to change. You're not afraid to grow. There are a lot of people in this life that are afraid of growing old, um, because they just don't want to be perceived as old. Bitch, we all get old. At the end of the day is gonna end, and at the end of the life, it's gone. So, like, love while you can, build while you can, um, take adventures while you can, and I feel like you're forced to be reckoned with because you understand that. You understand that life is so fucking short. So you're gonna go. You're gonna try. You're gonna put yourself out there. You're gonna love as hard as you can. That's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. Love doesn't have to just be put towards another person. You can have, like I said, love for the game. You can have love, and when I mean that, like, that can even be literally. Some of you guys could love sports, or you could love, competitions, or watching little game shows and shit like that. I just feel like you are the type of person that can find little joys, take those little joys, and turn them into a whole life full of love. So that's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. If that resonated, definitely let me know. Let's see what else I can tap into before we close it out for this group. I'm also seeing that pile number three, yeah, pile number three, they have confidence in their ability to choose with love. You trust your heart without losing your mind. Okay? What that means is you can be going through a rough patch with somebody, a friend, a family member, or whatever, and you're still able to give that person the benefit of the doubt. You're still able to love yourself at the same time to know that you may deserve better, even if things aren't where you want them to be. That's the lovers. That's lovers energy right there. It starts with love for yourself and it spreads to everyone and everything around you. To close it out with the Three of Wands, I also see that what makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you have the confidence to look ahead. You believe in long term rewards and in the future that you're building. Most people, they wake up every day, they go to work, or they wake up every day and they're going to school and they're studying or they're training for this and they're blah, blah, blah. And they know that at the end of it, they're supposed to get here. But sometimes they don't even believe that that's the outcome that they're going to get. And so that's why they're not a force to be reckoned with. They don't even believe in themselves. They don't even believe in the energy of the universe working in their favor. And I feel like for you, you do. But what's crazy is that you're still able to believe in that while Uranus comes in every fucking time and shakes it up for you. You could have Aquarius in your chart. You don't have to, or 11th house placements. But that's what I'm getting here. If that resonated, definitely let me know. Come back for another one here on my channel. Don't forget to check out the Lilith 8th House playlist where you guys will be getting readings like this, where I give you my blunt, honest truth and be my most authentic self here as a reader. See y'all in the next one. Bye. Hi, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the diamond embroidery, then this is the correct group. Let's see what makes you a force to be reckoned with. Your first card is the Stork. It's the Queen of Cups or the Queen of Hearts in this deck, and it has the number 17 on it. You have comparison, the Five of Swords, period. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, saving, preservation, sorry, collection, and meanness. Okay, period. Hangman and Neptune. Okay, you could have Pisces in your chart. Pisces, 9th house, 12th house placements. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you don't compare yourself to anybody. You don't compare your life. You don't compare your situations. You don't compare what they have, what you don't, what you have and they don't. You don't do that type of shit. So what that means is that not only do you think you're less than, but you don't think you're better than anybody either. What you do is you stay the fuck in your lane. You stay in your fucking lane and you dream. I feel like in this group, you could have 1,000 people hating on you in one room. You could have, you could step into a room full of 10 people. You're the 10th person, 9 people in that room fucking hate you. And guess what? You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even care. You wouldn't, and even if you did know, it wouldn't make you feel no type of way, because those people, the reason why they feel a type of way is because they're creating this comparison that doesn't even matter. You could be in different fields, different areas of life, and yet people will still find a way to try to compare themselves to you to make themselves look better. Or sometimes it ends up making them feel worse about themselves. What I'm getting at with this is I'm looking at this card, the Five of Swords comparison card from the Osho Zen deck, and it really talks about how an oak tree is not going to compare itself to a bamboo tree, and a bamboo tree is not going to compare itself to oak. And in the picture, you can clearly see that this oak tree is thick as a brick. It's got it's got the bark on it, and then it's not anything that you would need to compare to the bamboo. The bamboo looks great too. It's sturdy, it's straight, the color is vibrant. You know what I mean? It's exactly what you would expect a bamboo to look like. And what I get from that is that what makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you're not going to look out where somebody else's came from, how old they are, blah blah blah, and think, well, why? No, because what it is that you're probably in different industries, you probably have different family backgrounds, you might even be different races and therefore have different genetic or ethnic makeups and all of these things. So there's no reason for you to be comparing yourself to nobody. I don't know you from a can of paint, so why would I compare myself to you? If there's something about you that makes you a force to be reckoned with, is because you don't mind looking at the differences and using that as a moment to pause and reflect. I also feel like what makes you a force to be reckoned with as well. A lot of people will hold resentment. A lot of people will have fear or anxiety in their heart, and it makes them feel so stuck that they stay stuck. But with you, when you recognize that if those feelings ever come up in you, that it's a moment for you to reflect and gain a new perspective. That's what makes you a force to be reckoned with, because change comes naturally to you. Movement comes naturally to you. You can spread your wings wider than anybody the fuck else. And again, it's not to compare yourself. It's the fucking truth. Like we're not gonna sit here and say that a blue jay's wingspan is the same length as an eagle. It's just fucking not. It's just not. Why? Because the blue jay doesn't need all of that. They're happy with their life and doing along the way they are. We're not going to compare a hummingbird's beak and strength in their fucking face to the strength of a fucking fish. Why? They're in different environments, different, like one is in the air, one is in the water. Like, we're just not going to do it. It's just no need. Why would we do that? You feel me? So I feel like that's you. Like, you just get stuff like that. You understand that one person's new beginning is not going to look like yours. It's not going to be yours. That it is what it is. And all the while you recognize that, you know what you do? You keep up your strength. You keep up your energy. You don't push yourself. You don't make yourself the martyr. You don't put yourself out of your body to make other people feel better. For example, if your bestie is sick and you're sick too, well, guess what, bitch? We're going to be sick together. And we're just going to have to hope that we heal at the same fucking time. You want me to go get you water? Bitch, go get me water. Like, I'm seeing stuff like that. Like, it's just like, if you're in a situation where you've got to be calm and you've got to chill and you really can't do more than you can, you're not going to sit here and try to flaunt this and shit that you don't have just to keep up an image. Like, I feel like in this group, you're okay with the transition periods. You're okay with, like, having to be flexible here and there because it brings transformation for you. And I think in this group, you just don't want to live a boring life. You don't want every single thing in your life to be known. Like, for me, you could tell me right now, hey, Jay, I bought this thing from blah blah blah, this best witch in the world, and she could tell you how you're gonna die. I'm not going to see that witch. I don't want to see her. I don't want to know. And I feel like that's you. Like, there's probably so many times where you could have been a little bit more nosy. You could have dug your feet in a little bit more. You could have shown up even if you were feeling like complete shit, and you didn't. And that's what makes you a force to be reckoned with, because you listen to yourself, you listen to your body, but also you listen to spirit with this Neptune card. And every single time you do that, you rise higher. I love that for you. You have confidence in your emotional wisdom. There are some people that are book smart. There are some people that are street smart. There are some people that maybe have a blend of both. There are other people that are emotionally intelligent, and all of these different types of smartness, intelligence, whatever, makes the world go round. There's some people that just have a natural way of understanding money and financial institutions and all of those things. There are some people that have a natural way of just reading a room. There are other people that have a natural way of, getting into politics and kind of seeing and guessing where things are going to go from here. Like, and we need people like this. What makes you a force to be reckoned with is that your innate intelligence. You know what you naturally just fucking get. And because of that, you're not sitting here comparing yourself to so and so, because what you're going to do is you're going to use what you've got and make it work for you. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's the emotional wisdom. I'm thinking about, how there are always older women now, and I'm saying now because social media has risen, and a lot of people have now started to talk more about their personal lives and the experiences that they've had in efforts to teach young men and women, whomever, whatever gender, the lessons that they wish they knew, or the lessons that they always knew and that they see other people just not really grasping. For example, I have this, there's this one lady that I have came across over the last 2 weeks on Instagram, who is a older black woman. She takes care of herself, high self-care, all of these things, but she's vulgar as hell, y'all. Like, vulgar as hell. Like, she just get on there and she talks her shit, but the way she talks is like she's really just talking to young women that are dealing with masculines, who aren't comfortable in their masculine energy, or who are kind of masking what they are really interested in, what they really want, and how they really feel about women or the person that they're dealing with. And it just kind of reminds me of you. Like, you have this wisdom where it's like you look at a situation, and while you have empathy with this Queen of Cups and all of these things for the person or the people that are experiencing it, you also have this wisdom with the Five of Swords. You also have this ability to kind of look at things in a clever way and just see, this is really what's going on, bro. You know, While you are love and light, not everybody is. And this is what they're carrying. This is what they're dealing with. Neptune energy can be so blurry. And I feel like because you can feel things out, it's not as hazy for you as it is with other people. Some of you guys could have strong Neptune in your chart. You could have Neptune aspecting your ascendant or even your Mercury. But it works for you. And it makes you a force to be reckoned with. Because you trust the inner tides. You trust your emotions. You're not afraid to be the calm one in chaos. You're not afraid to be the calm one in chaos. When other people are scrambling, when other people are doing this to try to impress or to try to influence, even, like, you just be yourself. You just say how you feel. You just, share what you're thinking if they're open to it. Like, that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. I feel like you just know shit like that. Like, you just innately know, like, that's never gonna work, baby. It's just not gonna work. I'm hearing that song by, is it Fantasia? Damn, let me look it up because I actually don't want to get it wrong, but I remember when I was a kid hearing this song. And even though I was a kid, right, and I, hadn't been in the, long-term relationships and shit like that. Oh, is it Kelly Rowland? Let me see. I thought it was Fantasia. Oh, it's K Michelle. Yeah, it's K Michelle. Her song, You Can't Raise a Man. Okay. She says, he got older, but never grew. For his life, he can't tell the truth. How to love, he ain't got a clue. Playing games like he'll never lose you. Try to talk to him, can't get through. Every day is a different dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, and it doesn't even have to just be romantic. It's like dealing with shit in life. You could be around somebody, right? That is a grown ass man, a grown ass woman that you're working with, that you're seeing on the street or whatever, right? And you just see them lying through their teeth, pretending to be something they're not, you know, playing games with people in their own in their lives, like, it won't come back to them. Like, those people aren't gonna notice. Like, and I'm not just talking about romantic. Like, you know, I'm just thinking of movies that I've seen where it's like someone has seen another person struggling or harmed, hurt, and they take them in, and then that person ends up getting harmed. The person that took them in ends up getting harmed and hurt by that person. And I feel like what makes you a force to be reckoned with, though, is that while you are love and light with this 5 of Swords, you're clever as fuck. You're clever. And then with the Queen of Cups added in, you have emotional intelligence. With the Hanged Man, you're not going to be the type of person that feels a type of way by someone's actions and then make those feelings have you think something different than the reality. I think a lot of the time with Neptune and the Hanged Man energy, people assume that there is illusion there. But I feel like with you, there's so much more practicalness from the emotions and from the, for some of you guys, like visions or the messages that you get when you really take a pause and think about what the fuck was that about? Why did they say that? Why did they do that? And a lot of the time you notice and you see they're either faking to be something they're not, or they're trying to manipulate you into being something that you're not so that it works for them. Or they're trying to portray you to be something that you're not so that it works for them. Every day is a different person. Every day is a different dude. Yep, K Michelle, them lyrics really, really, really hit. You can't raise a man. You can't raise a woman. They're already grown. What can you do? You wonder why they're acting childish, why they're acting like a little boy or a little girl. It's because he wasn't raised right before you. So you're the type of person where, okay, you're forgiving, you're empathetic, you're all these things. But what ultimately makes you a force to be reckoned with is you're going to take a look at that. You're going to see, is this person flexible? Can this person change? Can we go from here to there? And if not, you're going to get the fuck out of there. You'll sacrifice up to a certain extent. You'll pause and see things and try to really understand to a certain extent. But after a while, nah, bitch, I'm good. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that about 12th house Pisces Neptune placements. Like, yes, there's so much love. And yes, there is actually so much sacrifice there. But it also comes with hidden enemies. It also comes with people with very manipulative intentions. And I feel like what makes you a force to be reckoned with is that you have this 5 of Swords energy within you. You can see, you can tell. That gives you the confidence to walk away from ego battles. You always win by choosing your peace. You're not trying to get all the power in the world. I feel like in this group, you just want to have enough to make you happy. And that's what makes you a force to be reckoned with. So if that resonated, definitely let me know. Come back for another one here on my channel, as I would love to have you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.